So we should talk about this, the Jack podcast, because everybody got so upset about it. And let's clear up a few things. First of all, the guy seems to be willing to talk about anything. It's not that I didn't want to talk to him about those things. It's just he was being, I wouldn't say he's evasive, but he was basically just saying what he knew based on the company policy. I didn't know what else more to ask him. And people felt like I didn't press him hard enough. And he, to his credit, reached out to me and said that he would offer to do another one to ask more questions.
Oh, that's cool.
And I said, that would be awesome. So I said, well, this is the thing that people seem to be upset about. They seem to be upset about very specific cases where people showed, like if people were right-wing and they were posting things, they were banned, whereas people who are left-wing or maybe people of different races were allowed to post racist things or more offensive things and even dox people and didn't suffer any consequences for it. This is the argument.
See, Joe, the problem is the double standard from Twitter. I actually saw someone copying a tweet, basically bashing on all white people, and reported that, and then copied the tweet and just switched it up with black people, and he got banned with that account for it. The problem is that Twitter is selectively uses their terms of service on and lets everyone on that are leftists, that are these regressive NPC SJWs, whatever you want to call them, and they get away with basically calling for murder. Kill all men was a hashtag. Oh, it's so fun, it's so fun. Or other calls for like killing the president, or wanting to kill, dox, harm other people. Yet these people don't get banned off of the platforms because mostly they're the protected class of journalists, or they're some kind of hardcore leftist that Twitter protects and have a blue check mark. That's the issue, that where you have Sarah Jong, you have Chuck Wendig, you have all of these SJWs who are extremist with hateful things on your platform. Yet, when I say the word retard, I get banned on Twitter for a week. How is that fair? And how is that different from Sarah Jong telling all white people are this or all white people are that? That is the double standard of Twitter, and it's good you can have him back on, but this time there is no excuse for you, Joe, to, and it's not even specific cases. It's everyone right of Stalin that gets banned off of Twitter for the most smallest of things on that platform. Yet these leftists get away with everything.
My problem is I don't spend enough time reading this stuff. I don't know. Like, this is like when people get banned. Like, Anthony Cumia is a friend of mine. I don't really know why he got banned. I don't know what happened. I know there was that incident with that woman that punched him, and he wound up getting fired. He was drunk, and he said a bunch of really stupid shit in Twitter, and then later apologized for it. But I don't know if that's what got him kicked off of Twitter. But he's my friend. So what I'm saying is all these other guys that have problems, I don't know what the fuck happened, man. I'm busy. I really don't. I don't know. I don't even know what got Alex Jones kicked off, which is why I asked him, because that was one of the last platforms for Alex Jones was Twitter, but something got him kicked off. Their take on it was that they never kicked him off before because he didn't violate their terms of service. And another thing that's very encouraging that Jack said, and I know it's fun to get mad at things. It's fun to get mad at him. It's fun to get mad at me for it. I get it. I'd probably do the exact same thing. I totally understand it. But one of the things that he said was that he believes that the ability to communicate on the internet through Twitter or through these platforms is a basic human right. That's how he looked. Like I said, do you think of it like a network, like NBC? Like if you're on NBC, they can decide what's on and what's not on. Or do you look at it like a utility? And he specifically said that he looked at it more like that he thought it was a basic right. That's very encouraging. He also said that he would bring on whoever it is in his team that's responsible for these things.
So if it's a utility, why does he get to decide who gets banned and who doesn't get banned? And for Alex Jones being banned, you don't think it's suspicious that he got banned just with at the same time everyone else was kicking him off their platform, and Twitter just waited a few days just to look a little bit better and to get a little controversy. And then what he said during the podcast was basically, well, we waited until people reported him, then we banned him. That's basically what it said, and he better have a good explanation, because again, if he says this is a utility and everyone should have a right to it, that's not encouraging, because what he's doing is actually the opposite. He's kicking people left and right. He kicked Sargon off. He's kicking people off that he doesn't like. James Allsop, Patreon are kicking people off, YouTube are banning people, and it's Facebook are banning people left and right. Like, if it's a utility, he can't ban people for what they say, except for when they break the law. That is stupid of you to say, Joe Rogan, and it's stupid of Jack Dorsey, and hypocritical for him to say that this is a utility. So either let everyone on and only kick them off when they break the law, or you're just a hypocrite and you're not actually believing what you say, Jack Dorsey.
So that is probably what's happening to all you folks that think your comments are getting deleted. No one's deleting shit.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not attached to what I do in the sense that I'm unwilling to look at what I do wrong. I try to look at everything that I do wrong, including this. So if you were upset at this podcast because you thought somehow or another I sold out because I didn't ask him any more questions, I just asked him the questions I wanted to ask. I understand you have more questions, and I do too. I have more questions too, especially upon seeing people's reaction to it, and upon, making myself pay more attention to all these various stories. Matt sent us a list of them. Some of them are really fucking crazy. There's some crazy things people have said and not gotten in trouble for, whereas other people said things that really weren't that bad and got in trouble for it. Why is that? That's a good question to ask. So we'll concentrate on that. We're just going to work out a date. So my humblest apologies to all of you. I'm not trying to let anybody down. I always try to do my best.
So that's actually a good apology, but again, you have a list of transgressions being done on Twitter, and they're not being banned yet. Again, I can use my anecdote as an example for being banned for a week for just using one word, and not even attacking or harassing or doing anything that is in the terms of service, or breaking the terms of service. And Twitter, again, Twitter is the most censorious platform, I would say, all over the big ones. And to not be prepared to talk about these things when you have such a big person on, and actually you had no problem with other people on your platform. I know Anthony Brian Logan and other channels that I watch actually pointed this out, where he went after Steven Crowder, he went after Candace Owens. He has no problem grilling or actually challenging people when they're on his platform, but he didn't do it with Jack Dorsey, and he didn't disclose that he was being sponsored by Jack Dorsey and his company. That's why people called you out and said you were basically shilling, because you didn't disclose this in your podcast, and people actually found out afterwards and called you into question. That's why people call you a shill, because you didn't ask the hard questions, because people are getting banned on this platform for not doing anything wrong. Yet these people who are calling men to be killed, or white men to be killed, or white people to be killed, they get to stay on there and just continue their hatred. That's what's the issue. Now, the apology is just fine, but now we have a second chance if he's going to come back on and actually challenge him.
That's it. And also, here's another clear one. No one tells me what to do. There's no secret person behind the scenes. If I fuck up, it's because of me. It's my fuck up. I should have prepared more. I should have thought about it more. But I didn't realize like how upset people would be.
I think you did I thought it was a great interview, and I didn't even think of that. I thought you kind of touched on it a little when you were talking about Alex Jones, and I think that was like, okay, you know, this is what happens.
Well, it's a very specific group of people that are upset. It's right-wing guys.
Right.
It's a lot of American flags, a lot of Pepe the Frogs. It's alt-right people, which, look, man, easily could have been me at many points of my life. Easily. Especially being a troll online.
See, had you left it at the apology and just moved on from that, I think I would have been fine with it. But you didn't. Then you went on to call the people who have the problem with it conservative. I'm not a conservative. I have an issue with Twitter. And you call them alt-right, which is a straw man or a red herring. And that is completely false in what people have an issue with. People from both sides of the aisle have an issue with what you did. I tried to watch all of that podcast, and I just couldn't, because it was just a fluff piece. And if you're not being controlled, then why didn't you linger on those questions and actually get him to answer your questions properly? But you didn't. You just wanted. Just look at it from our perspective. He's your sponsor, and you have it on your podcast. You ask him questions and you evade them, and you just let it go. And you've been known to go after people when they say or don't answer your questions, or say the things you want them to answer. So I just think it's very hypocritical to just point. This is what NPCs do. Just point at other people, say, "Oh, the alt-right, orange man, bad." This is the issue on what people have with you. People are upset and angry with you being just stupid and not realizing. You can't excuse, "Oh, you're just busy." Everyone is busy. But just to point at people, "Oh, they're alt-right," that is the highlight of what people are angry with Joe Rogan, and I hope with the second podcast he realizes he's done wrong, and that he fixes his mistakes, because if he continues. As I said earlier in this video, if he continues doing the same thing, just doing the fluff piece, basically shilling for Twitter, "Oh, it's such a great platform. We have this idealistic thing for the platform. It's a utility," which we know is a lie. Please do better, Joe Rogan. Thank you guys for watching, and see you guys next time. Bye.